Nityanandam, thank you for joining me for this video. My name is Shashank. I am a disciple of Paramahamsa Sri Nityanand Swamiji, who is an enlightened master, an incarnation from India. In today's video, I am going to talk about mathematics and spirituality and putting them together for one of my favorite topics, that is infinity. So let me first help you understand what is so interesting about it. So a few years ago, I read about a mathematician. His name was Canton. He had Cantor, I'm not sure. So he had done a research on infinity and found out that there are more than one infinities, and there are actually infinite number of infinities. What do we even mean by that? So let us first understand this basic mathematical concept, and then we'll come to the spirituality aspect of it. So mathematically, we know just a simple infinity, which is we use in our integration calculus and limits, every normal calculation which we do. So it will be like a series just going on and on and on and on and on. The biggest number which we can imagine, that is infinity. But there are more than one infinity. Let me explain that point. So let's take an example of a set. Set is just a collection. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it will go on and on and on till infinity. This is one infinite set. The number of elements in this set is called infinite natural. Means the size of a natural set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Now let me explain another set. 1, 1.2, 1.0.34, whatever. Going on till 2, and then 2.1, 2.3, 2.5, 2.50, 7, 8, 3, 4, whatever, till infinity. So between 1 and 2 itself, there are infinite number of digits, infinite number of numbers. Then going all the way to infinity, there are infinite more such numbers. So with this itself, we understand that the second set, infinity R, that is rational numbers, set of rational numbers, is a bigger infinity than infinity n, that is infinity of natural numbers. But this will not make sense to most of us, because we have never used infinity in this fashion. But hold on, this is not just some random thing which I am sharing. This is a standard mathematical understanding which we have. So coming to the spiritual aspect of it, there are many religions which say there's only one God. Infinity is a property which we visualize about God. It is when your logic expands to its peak possibility, the peak possible realization of logic by itself is infinity. And it can visualize that there's only one infinity, because logic by its own capabilities is limited to that. It can come to one answer like that. But then when we add inclusiveness, emotional, we add a bit of heart to it, then we come to the next level understanding that there can be more than one infinities, and there are actually infinite number of infinities. And actually, how can infinity be one? Infinity is infinity, right? That is the breadth understanding of infinity. So in Vedic tradition, I'm just loosely translating some Sanskrit words. There is length, which means logic, breadth, which means visualization and emotions. And there's a third, which is cognition, experience. So we can have an understanding which is just at the logical plane, a deeper understanding at the emotional plane, and the third level, an experiential understanding of a certain concept. So I explained the length and the breadth aspect of infinity. Now what about the depth? That is a cognition, which is an experiential understanding of infinity. Now let me warn you, the scientists who have done research on this, they have lost their brains, they have lost their mind, and they suffered a nervous breakdown just trying to understand this infinite number of infinities with pure logic and a bit of inclusiveness. They were not able to handle this because the tools which they were using is wrong. The proper tools is cognition, experience, which our Vedic masters have very well developed. So to come to that, first I need to explain you the 5 states of consciousness. We know modern science knows 3 of them. Vedic tradition introduces us to 2 more. And in fact, there are 25 states of consciousness, which you can see in my guru's video where he explains it elaborately. But now coming to 5 states. The number one state is deep sleep. Deep sleep is for a duration of 2-3 hours during the night. Then is the sleep, which most of us get for 8 hours per day. Then the next state is waking state, where me and you are right now. We are in a waking state. The fourth state is called Turiya. Turiya state is when it is a 0 thoughts per second state. It is a samadhi state. It is basically achieved by enlightened masters, and almost every human being experiences it once or other time in his life. For example, the top athletes, they call it the zone. The zone is when their concentration is at its peak possibility, and they are running, and the whole body is running without any resistance. It is just simply running, and they feel that they are unclutched from the body and they are just running. And if you do a neurological study of their brains, it will show the thoughts per second is really close to 0. It is very close to how it is described in the Vedic tradition. We can compare the Shastras and the QEEG results. Now, why am I explaining this Turiya state? If you get the correct understanding, depth understanding of infinity, you will get an experience and your thoughts per second should drop to 0. If that happens, according to Vedic tradition, we can say that you had an experience of infinity, and an experience of infinity will always give you a depth cognition of infinity. So I'll share my experience of infinity, just meditating on this with a pure 0 assumption space, 0 judgmental space. When you are into pure questioning, I'll share my experience, and the best way to validate it is put a QEEG machine on me and just see if my brain reaches that 0 thoughts per second state. But for now, I'll just share verbally what I experienced. So I was visualizing infinity as a single dimensional array, or a matrix, single dimensional matrix, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like infinity, like whatever you can imagine. Then I expanded into a 2-dimensional, where all the different kind of infinities are coming one after the other, which is the breadth understanding of infinity. So adding more and more and more. Then expand this to 3-dimensional. Then you can see the whole space is filled with numbers and infinite numbers in all directions, which you can visualize. Then add a 4th, 5th, 6th, an infinite number of dimensions. By the time you are visualizing this, your visualization will drop, and you will feel that there is nothing outside of this infinity, and since you are there, you are one with it, and you will come to the realization that you are that. That is my experience of infinity. Now I like to put this into a religious, spiritual perspective. See, in many traditions, we say that God is superior and we are like slaves or something. But in Vedic tradition, we say that even when I am praying to you, Mahadeva, I am one with you. Although I am praying to you, I know I am one with you. Where we say that God, super consciousness, and Jivatma, individual consciousness or individual soul, are not separate. They are in oneness. And God is not threatened by this. He actually cherishes us. This is our Vedic understanding. We don't see ourselves separate from God. And there's a beautiful mantra, the Shanti mantra from Ishavasya Upanishad. I would like to chant it. So, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamdachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevava Shishyate. What does the mantra mean? It means from completion comes out. This is also completion, this is also completion. When this goes back in and unites, then also it's completion. This is very similar to the property of infinity. From infinity, you take something out, it can be infinite. And both the infinities, when you will combine, you'll get infinity again. So it looks like a mathematical equation. So to put it into perspective of this conversation, we have an understanding that some traditions have an understanding, even in Hinduism, that the individual soul needs to do something so that it can attain oneness with the cosmos, with the supreme soul. But what I'm saying right now is, as my guru explained in his video, he explained infinity, infinity now is reality, is the depth understanding of infinity. Infinity, infinity now. What it means? According to me, that is, if I am something, if I am a number, let's say 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, if I have to become infinite, if it has to happen in a finite time, it is not possible. It cannot happen in finite number of steps that a finite number can become an infinite number. Either I need an infinite time for that to happen, or I should be infinity to start with. A number just like that cannot become infinite, because that will require infinite number of steps to happen, which is not possible, because on earth we are here only for 70, 80 years or whatever. So we are infinite to start with it. So we are one with God at the beginning itself. Only then we can be one with Him any time, because otherwise how can a small number suddenly become infinite? That doesn't make sense. So this is my understanding when Swamiji said infinity, infinity now. It is not like you have to do a lot of tapas, this, that. For you to realize that you are enlightened, you are one with Him, for that nothing is required. Shuddha Advaitic truth is, you are that right now. Sada Shivoham. I am Sada Shiva. I am Mahadeva. I am in oneness with Bhagwan. I am in oneness with God. So this is my understanding. Hope you liked it. Do watch my Guru's other videos. I am just put the links here. And please subscribe both our channels. Like, comment, share. Thank you for tuning in. Nityanandam.